My parents gave away my new house to my brother right in front of me at my own housewarming party. Mom said, "You're unmarried. You don't need the space." I smiled, grabbed my keys, and left. That night, I canceled the massive legal settlement keeping my father out of federal prison. I'm Jason. I'm 32, a commercial pilot. For the last 8 months, I've been quietly funding my dad's criminal defense. He was indicted for wire fraud after his logistics company collapsed, and he owed $850,000 in federal restitution to avoid a 5-year prison sentence. I drained my investment account, sold my stock portfolio, and took out a massive personal loan to cover it. The funds were sitting in my lawyer's escrow account, scheduled for final transfer to the Department of Justice on Monday morning at 9 a.m. My housewarming party was supposed to be a small celebration. After years of living out of suitcases, I had finally purchased a beautiful 4-bedroom craftsman home in Austin, Texas. I invited my parents and my younger brother, Tyler. Tyler is 27, a self-proclaimed lifestyle consultant who has never held a job for more than 3 months and still lives in my parents' converted garage. The party started fine. I was in the backyard grilling when I heard clinking glasses inside. I walked into my own living room to find my dad tapping a spoon against a champagne flute. There were about 20 guests gathered around. Mom was beaming. "We are just so incredibly proud," Dad announced to the crowd. "It took a lot of work, but we finally got Tyler settled into his forever home, to Tyler's new chapter." Everyone cheered. I stood frozen in the doorway holding a pair of tongs. Tyler was standing next to the fireplace, grinning and holding out a set of keys, my spare keys, which had been resting on the kitchen counter. I pulled Mom into the hallway. "What is going on? This is my house. My name is on the deed." Mom waved her hand dismissively. "Oh, Jason, don't be so dramatic. You're always traveling for work. You're single. You literally don't need all this space. Tyler is trying to launch his consulting firm, and he needs a respectable location to host clients. We figured you could just take the master bedroom and he'll take the rest of the house. It's basically his now." "You gave away my house?" I asked, my voice dropping. Tyler sauntered into the hallway. "Come on, bro. You're literally saving Dad from federal prison next week. That's your big hero moment for the family. Let me have this one. I already changed the Wi-Fi password to my company name." The hallway went dead silent. Mom looked at me expectantly, waiting for me to cave like I always did. "Right," I said, "just the Wi-Fi." I turned around, walked out the front door, and drove away. I didn't yell. I didn't make a scene. I drove straight to a quiet hotel near the airport. I sat on the edge of the bed, opened my laptop, and logged into my secure legal portal. The $850,000 restitution transfer was listed under pending transaction. I thought about the last decade. I thought about paying Dad's mortgage when his business first started failing. I thought about covering Tyler's luxury car leases because he needed to look successful. I thought about the grueling international flight schedules I worked to build my savings, sleeping in terrible airport hotels while they lived comfortably on my dime. My cursor hovered over the red button. Then I clicked. Transfer voided. Funds returned to origin account. The fallout was absolute chaos. On Monday morning at 9:15 a.m., my phone lit up with a barrage of notifications. 8 missed calls from Dad. 15 frantic texts from Mom. "Jason, the lawyers just called. The DOJ didn't get the money. The plea deal is revoked. Call me right now." I opened the family group chat and typed one single message. "I canceled the federal restitution wire. You gave away my house to Tyler because I don't need the space. If my home doesn't belong to me, neither does my money. Enjoy the new place." Mom called immediately. I let it go to voicemail. She texted back a minute later. "You're going to let your father go to a federal penitentiary over some real estate?" I replied. "You tried to steal my house after I bankrupted myself to save your husband. Interesting strategy." What they didn't know was that I had already called the local police on Sunday morning to report trespassers at my address. By the time Monday afternoon rolled around, Tyler was being forcibly escorted off my property by 2 officers for refusing to leave, and the locks were completely chained. 2 days later, Tyler called me from an unknown number. "Jason, please, Dad's lawyers are saying the judge is going to issue an arrest warrant by Friday. You have the cash. Just send it." "I told you I can't risk your lifestyle consulting firm," I said smoothly. "You need a respectable environment, and defending a convicted felon might ruin your brand." "I would have let you keep the house," he stammered. "I would have kept him out of prison," I replied, happily. "But you all made it abundantly clear that my only purpose in this family is to be an ATM you can disrespect. So now Dad can face the federal judge like everyone else who doesn't have a son willing to buy their freedom." "You're a monster," he whispered. "No," I said. "I'm single, and apparently that means I don't matter."